I was wondering why my beats weren't coming out the way I wanted them to, or the way that I heard other producers making the beats, and it's because what's good, family? Ice Age Beats. Today I want to give you 5 of the biggest mistakes that I made as a music producer. And these are, I'm telling you, these are going to be some great points, or mistakes I should say, but honestly learning lessons, or lessons learned that, well, lessons that I learned, and hopefully lessons you don't have to learn. You can skip right through them. So I want to help you jumpstart and allow you to just be better than me, all right? So of course, if you're new to the channel, this is a channel where we help music producers grow their music production skills, make better beats, and make quality beats, pro level beats right from home. Okay, if you're new, check us out, check all of our content out, and yeah, we would love to hear from you and ultimately want to serve you so you can be a better music producer. Of course, before we get started, check out this free gift I have for you. It is the Ultimate Beatmaker Toolkit. It's got all of the best tools for music producers so you can start creating pro level beats right from the house. We have plugins, we have sound pack recommendations, MIDI pack, etc. And we also have hardware gear. So the best recommended hardware gear so that you can download this guide, go ahead and get started and start making beats right from the house that sound amazing. Okay, so check out this guide. Link is right here in the description. Other than that, let's go ahead and get into the video and let's talk about these 5 mistakes that I wish I just never made. All right, let's talk about the first mistake. I wrote down all of the points I wanted to talk about on my iPad because I want to make sure I covered everything and make sure that you get the most out of this video. Okay, so the first mistake that I made, which was a big one, was picking the wrong sounds. And this is a 2-part, point right here. So picking the wrong sounds. I know you're probably like, okay, I know that, like, sound selection is key. So there's 2 things to it. The first thing is bad quality sounds. If you don't have good sounds, it doesn't matter what you pick. It's all gonna be trash. All right. So having good quality sounds is key. All right. And I put this is in the Ultimate Beatmaker Toolkit. These lists, or this designated list of sound packs and MIDI packs that I put in this toolkit, they're great. They're awesome. When I first started making beats, I had thousands of sounds that I thought were decent. I bought packs, buy 200 sound packs for 30 bucks or whatever. I bought all these packs because I thought I was doing something because I had a lot of sounds and they weren't good. They just weren't good. The quality wasn't good. I was wondering why my beats weren't coming out the way I wanted them to, or the way that I heard other producers making the beats, and it's because of the quality, okay? That's part 1 of this. Part 2 of that is the sound selection itself. Okay, so if you have good sounds, or once you get the toolkit and you get the sounds that are in there, you have them in your library and you know what sounds are good that you can go to. Now it's about selecting sound. Okay, so sound selection is key, and it's an acquired skill. It takes time, it takes an ear. It's kind of hard to explain. All it takes, to be honest, all I can really say is practice. Okay, sound selection is key. You choose the wrong snare. You choose like a Lex Luger snare, like a really thin snare, and you put it on a track, and it sometimes it just doesn't work. Like, it's like, that doesn't work for this type of genre or this style I'm going for. The sound is too thin. So you have to start thinking about that as you go and as you grow. That is the biggest mistake I made, is sound selection, when it came to bad quality sounds and when it came to actually selecting the right sounds I needed for my track. All right, mistake number 2 was adding a limiter to my master. So I know some people put a limiter on their master. Hey, by all means, do you. Look, there's no rules to the game. But for me, having a limiter on the master, it just tore up my mix. It messed up my mix. I didn't know what a limiter did at the time. And it was just like, why do I have a limiter on my master? It wasn't making the beat sound better. It made it sound louder, but it sounded either, overcompressed, or it sounded funny, right? So my rule of thumb is don't put a limiter on your master. I personally don't do it still to this day, and I love it. I love the way the beat comes out, the way the mix sounds without it. You know what I mean? I'm not a mastering engineer. I'm really not even like a audio engineer per se. I'm mixing beats. I'm doing production. I'm making beats, right? So for me, no limiter, right? Simple as that. I mean, I can go all day with this, but I'm gonna keep it right at that. No limiter. There's no need for it. Mistake number 3 was adding compression to everything. Listen, adding compression to everything is ridiculous. You don't have to add compression to everything. You just don't. Again, it goes back to the limiter, mistake. If you don't know what the plugin does, don't put it on there. If you're not seeing the result of the plugin, there's no need for you to have it on there. So biggest thing I was doing is I was throwing compression on everything because I felt like that's what I needed to do. And what I was doing was throwing it on there and just turning it to different presets to get a loudness out of my speakers or into my ear, which equated to, oh, it sounds good, which is not true, right? So adding compression to everything, don't do that. There's no need to add compression to everything, honestly. There's really no need to add compression to a lot of things if the sound is good, if you're getting a good clean sound out, if you have good quality sounds, right? So that was what I was doing. I was adding compression to everything. And you just don't have to do that, all right? This goes into my fourth mistake, which was overthinking the mix. And it kind of covers the last two mistakes anyways, but I wanted to make it its own individual, little, caveat, all right? So overthinking the mix. All right, this does go into adding over compression, adding limiter, adding EQs, multiple, like 5 or 6 EQs. All these plugins, all this stuff to try to make something sound better, or at least look like it sounds better, or oh, it looks good. I have all this stuff in my DAW, like all these plugins, and I'm doing all this great stuff. Don't overthink the mix. Just don't overthink it. It's just don't overthink it. It's not rocket science. It's very simple, and with the right sounds, the great quality, and the right sound selections, the less mixing you have to do, the better, right? I was overthinking it. I was mixing and remixing and mixing and remixing, and at that point, my ears are just fatigued out. Like I'm not even hearing much of a difference. I'm just overworking my ears. I'm overworking my mind, and I'm overworking the project. Now the sound is the music, the beat isn't even the way that I wanted it to be, right? So I'm telling you, it goes back to this kind of covers the rest of, or the first 4 mistakes. When you do these, you don't have to overthink the mix. You have good sounds. You're not overusing compression. You're not using a limiter. Don't overthink the mix. Keep it simple. Allow the beat, allow the music, allow the sounds that you put in there to speak for themselves, okay? I'm not saying don't do any EQing or anything like that. I'm just saying don't overthink the mix. I think the biggest thing is you want to start at a basic level and you can grow from there, okay? So that's my thoughts on that. And the fifth and final mistake, which for me was not sound treating my room. As you can tell, I have soundproof or sound panels in my room. I just got them installed maybe last year at the old studio, and I'm telling you, it makes a difference. It's night and day from the sound quality. I also have sound panels directly behind my speakers, which is, it's a must, all right? I had a studio years ago, and I had no sound treatment. I just had my room, the studio speakers are right by, or the monitors are right by the wall. It was whatever. It was cool. It was like, okay, like this is how I'm gonna get a good mix if I can't even hear the actual sound that's coming out of my speakers. So I will say this, and I will say it again, get some sound panels. Build them yourself if you have to, or if you can't afford them, just do a little home setup. Get some pillows or something. Get your room treated to the best of your ability, because it's going to help you significantly with your mix, with the way your beats sound, with what you're actually hearing out of your monitors. Okay, so that was the biggest one, and I did say it for last, which I know I said it wasn't in order, but that was a huge one, and I didn't think about it for a long time. I didn't think it was a big deal until I actually implemented or built some sound panels and actually put them in my studio, spaced them out, and I heard a significant difference in from the sound coming out of my studio monitors. Okay, so the bonus tip, I want to give this to you real quick. This is super dope, and I say this a lot. Some people disagree with me, and that's okay. This is what it is though. Focus on one thing at a time. Focus on one thing at a time, all right? I can't say this enough. I used to sell beats. I used to want to do YouTube. I used to want to do sync placements. I used to want to get on Instagram and post every day. I used to want to do this and do everything with my music. I wanted to do DJing. I wanted to do live shows. I wanted to get with artists. I wanted to record. I wanted to engineer. It's just too much. It's absolutely too much. And when you're not focused, you get nothing. Nothing really gets accomplished fully. You can't move to the next thing if you haven't accomplished the one thing. Okay, so I would challenge you to focus on one thing. If you want to sell beats, sell beats. If you want to be on YouTube and you want to teach, you want to inspire other producers and provide value for them that way, do that. If you want to do sync placement, do that. I would challenge you to pick one of those things though. Pursue it and see it all the way through. All right. And what I mean by that is, that's subjective, right? Depending on what success is for you. But for me, maybe it's, hey, I want to reach 6 figures selling beats, or I want to reach 6 figures doing sync licensing, right? Find a goal, achieve it, and then move to the next thing. I would strongly recommend that. I know a lot of people don't agree with that. They're like, oh, just do it all. Hey, to each his own. But I'm telling you from experience, that is the best method, and probably the biggest mistake I made. I wasted 2 or 3 years of my music career. I wouldn't say wasted, but it took me longer to get somewhere, to get traction somewhere, because I was doing everything at once. So that is the bonus tip right there. I hope you enjoyed the video and really just took some value from this. Take this video, or take these mistakes that I made, I should say, and apply apply what I've learned, so you don't have to go through it, right? Apply this to your beats, apply this to your process, apply this to your strategy, so you can achieve and be great. That's the ultimate goal of this video, honestly. Okay, so of course, if you haven't already checked out the Ultimate Beatmaker Toolkit, this is your chance. Go ahead and take action. Download this guide. It's free, and the link is in the description as well, so it's right here in the description. Go ahead and get that. Start making your way so you can start making better beats right now. Okay, other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.